What's up? What it do? Welcome back to the channel. This is Ian Williams, man. I did a video on a mega prison in El Salvador. And for those who don't know, you can go check out the video I did on a mega prison in El Salvador, the Terrorism Confinement Center. Or, for real, you can go watch multiple videos on CNN, on the CNN YouTube channel about this prison. But let me get to my point. Now, I said at first, this prison gonna be a problem. People thought I was just tripping. And then I got other comments from other people saying, E, why you worried about Venezuelan immigrants? So no disrespect to no type of immigrants. It wasn't that I was worried about them or not worried about them, but anytime that somebody could do something that's supposed to be quote unquote unconstitutional, then that means that they could do something like that to you at some later point in time. So I have a person that I debate with when it comes to like law, politics sometimes. And they said, well, be careful because when Trump get in office, Trump is going to do this and Trump is going to do that. So I thought a lot of that was fear mongering. But they said that if they could change the 13th Amendment, then technically they could rescind slavery. Now, I'm not going to move and go that far. But in order to change an amendment to the Constitution, you got to have a certain percentage of Congress and all them to rule in there. You have to have something like, don't quote me on these numbers neither. You got to have something like three quarters of the states to ratify. You can Google it, a simple search on Google, but it can be done. But there's things to be done about it. But my point is this. If sending prisoners from America that are United States citizens, I don't care how violent they are, to another prison is unconstitutional. And the president is saying that now he's going to get Pam Bondi. You know who Pam Bondi is? That's the Attorney General for the United States. That's the top cop. That's over top of everything, the DOJ and all that. If he wants Pam Bondi to research and study how to do it, that's basically saying that, yeah, the Constitution say this, and yeah, this is what we believe to be the Constitution. But if we can find a way to do it, we are going to do it. So I said that they sent the Maryland man, even though he had just the judge's orders to not be removed from Maryland. And they sent him all the way to this prison in El Salvador, all the way in a whole nother country. Now, I told you that when they first mentioned this prison, it was not for Trinidad. It wasn't for the Venezuelan migrants and any other migrant that the Trump administration wanted to send there. My beef ain't with the Trump administration. My thing that I want you to do is watch how people circumvent the Constitution when they want to. Now, they mentioned in the beginning that American criminals can go there. If the prison holds 20,000 people, right, it can hold 40,000. Now, Trump told the dude to build 5 more of these places so that they can send violent American criminals there. I don't want to put no thoughts in your head, but I want to know what you think. In my mind, the first thing I thought about was if they said they're going to send the most violent American criminals there, who are the most violent American criminals? Now, I know that we got Bloods, Crips, ABs, Native American groups and all this, but at the end of the day, who are your statistically, who are your most violent American criminals? Let's fast forward. ADX is supposed to be the top federal restrictive prison. Now, there are many state joints, Angola, Pelican Bay. Donald Trump is the commander-in-chief. He's the president of the United States. So the very first people who would be affected by being sent to a prison in a foreign country wouldn't be your state prisoners. You know that, right? So for those who don't know, I'm going to give you a little bit of an education in civics and bureaucracy. You know what I mean? The first people that will go will be federal people in the United States penitentiaries. Other people who would be affected automatically would be who? Residents of the District of Columbia who violate the law because what? They are automatically sentenced to the custody of the United States Attorney General. That's who Pam Bondi is right now. Anybody, whether you go to federal court or you go to D.C. Superior Court, when you are sentenced, if you look at the judgment and commitment and the paper, who are you sentenced to the custody of? You are going to be sentenced to the custody of the United States Attorney General. In comparison, if you're sentenced in Maryland right now, if you get sentenced in Maryland for a state charge, who are you sentenced to the custody of? Governor Westmore. People don't even understand some of these things. But anyway, to get back to my point is that ADX is supposed to be the maximum restrictive joint that the feds have to offer. It's only built to hold about 500 people. Can you imagine if they start emptying ADX and just start sending all of your Larry Hoovers, your Wayne Purries, your Ted Kaczynski's, you know what I'm saying, your Barry Mills, your TD Beckham. Imagine if they start sending all those people from ADX or any. Donald Trump can only make a move for federal prisoners. Now, he would be the president of the United States, but he's not king of the United States, not yet. Now, if you run for a third term, that's something different. But he's only the president of the United States right now. That means commander-in-chief. So he's only has authority over prisoners that are in federal custody. Those ICE guys, whose custody were they in? They were in federal custody. Immigration, Customs and Border Patrol, and all those other alphabets and the initials and abbreviations. Those people that's in federal custody. So for everybody who think they don't care, if you got a loved one in federal custody, if you got anybody that's, man, remotely close to someone who could be interpreted as breaking the law, you better tell them, man, tighten up and watch out, man. Don't get sent to El Salvador, man.
Bukele weigh in on this? Do you plan to return him?
Well, I'm supposed to be suggesting that I'll smuggle a terrorist into the United States, right? How can I return him to the United States? Like, I smuggle him into the United States, or what do I do? Of course, I'm not going to do it. It's like, I mean, the question is preposterous. How can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States? I don't have the power to return him to the United States.
So you could release him inside El Salvador?
Yeah, but I'm not releasing, I mean, we're not very fond of releasing terrorists into our country. I mean, we just turned the murder capital of the world into the safest country of the Western Hemisphere, and you want us to go back into the releasing criminals so we can go back to being the murder capital of the world? No, that's not going to happen.
They'd love to have a criminal, released into
I mean, there's a fascination.
They would love it.
Yeah.
I asked
¿Usted lo liberaría, Presidente
what is your
Bukele?
President?
César Eliseo Sortomaya.